Hey guys, welcome back to my kitchen. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make arancini, Sicilian rice balls that are breaded and lightly fried. Now there are two popular versions of this dish. One of them stuffs it with seasoned ground meat and tomato sauce or marinara sauce and peas, and the other, which is what we're doing, stuffs it with mozzarella cheese. So, enough talking. Let's get cooking. We'll start by cooking off our rice. Everybody cooks rice differently. This is just how I do it on my stovetop. So here I have a medium saute pan and I've put my heat up to medium high. To that, I'm gonna add 1/8 of a cup of olive oil or 2 tablespoons, followed by 2 tablespoons of butter. Once the butter is melted down, I'm going to add 1/2 cup of finely minced onion. You'll cook that for about a minute or two until it becomes fragrant and translucent, and then you can add 1 large clove of finely minced garlic. Once the garlic has sauteed for about a minute, you can add 2½ cups of either chicken broth or stock. When I cook medium or short grain rice, I have a 1¼ cup ratio, meaning for every cup of rice, I use 1¼ cups of liquid. And then to that, I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of salt. Give it a taste. Mine needed a little bit more, so I added another ½ teaspoon. So if you need to adjust the heat and make it a little bit higher, you can do so because we want to bring this up to a low boil, like this. Then we can add our 2 cups of medium grain rice. You could also use a short grain rice. It is extremely similar. Now, while lots of recipes call for specifically arborio rice is just an Italian variety of a short grain rice. So you can use any short to medium grain rice. It doesn't specifically have to be arborio. So we're just gonna keep simmering this until most of the liquid has been absorbed by the rice. So every couple of minutes, you just wanna give it a good stir, scraping the bottom to make sure that the rice is not sticking to the bottom of the pot. So as you can see, the rice has absorbed almost all of the liquid and left behind what I like to call little crab holes. Once you see that, you want to give your rice a really good stir. Then we're going to cover it with a tight-fitting lid. And then lower your heat to the lowest setting because we're going to steam the rice the rest of the way. It takes approximately 10 to 15 minutes to cook through. After about 10 to 15 minutes, your rice should be light and fluffy like this. You can shut the heat off, it's done. So now we want to cool our rice so we can handle it. So here I have a shallow baking dish and I'm just going to turn the rice out into the baking dish. While you're waiting for your rice to cool, gather your other ingredients. So here I have about 5 ounces of cubed fresh mozzarella cheese. I really didn't use all of it, but better safe than sorry. And here I'm just cubing up 2 tablespoons of butter. Now that the rice has cooled enough that we can handle it, we can start assembling our rice balls. Here I have 1 egg yolk that I've lightly beaten, and I'm gonna just top my rice with that and then mix it in. It's like a binding agent just to ensure that the rice really sticks to itself well. And it also adds a nice golden color to the rice. Next, we'll add 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. I'm just adding a little at a time and then stirring it in to make sure it's well incorporated into the rice. Once you've mixed all the cheese in, you need to wash your hands really well because we're basically going to be manhandling these rice balls. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can always use disposable gloves. Let me show you the consistency of the rice and how well it sticks together. Just by closing my hand and gently squeezing, the rice sticks together and holds its shape. This is perfect. Here I'm taking enough rice to fit the palm of my hand, and then I'm just gonna gently squeeze and start working the rice into a little bit of a cup form in the bottom of my hand. And then to that, I'm gonna add 1 chunk of mozzarella cheese and 1 chunk of butter. If you want to add 2 pieces of cheese, go ahead and do it. The cheesier, the better. Once you've added the cheese and the butter, we need to start closing the rice ball. So add a little bit more on top and then start to squeeze and rotate like making a meatball. Keep a little water off to the side and dip your fingers in. It helps to keep the rice off your hand and to form the rice ball like this. There's really no exact measurement for how much rice you should be using. You just eyeball it. There's no right or wrong. Basically, the size of my rice balls look like golf balls on steroids. And out of the 2 cups of rice we cooked, I got 12 equally sized rice balls. So wasn't this just great? My battery died in the middle of filming, but here in this step, I have about a 1/4 cup of cornstarch and I'm just lightly dusting each rice ball in the cornstarch. The next step is to dip the rice ball in an egg wash. So here I have 1 whole beaten egg and I had added the egg white from the egg yolk that we used earlier in the process to the whole egg. Then just roll it in some plain breadcrumbs. So here we have 1 completed rice ball, so just set that off to the side on either parchment paper or a silicone mat and continue the process until all your rice balls are done. Okay, so last but not least, we need to fry them. So here on the stove, I have a deep fry pan and I've put the heat up to medium high, and you want to use enough olive oil to coat the bottom of the fry pan. So here I'm just testing the temperature because I don't have a thermometer. I just dropped some loose breadcrumbs at the bottom. They began to sizzle and turn brown, so that tells me my oil is ready. So I've added a few rice balls at a time to the pan to ensure that I don't overcrowd the pan. Now you can begin the process of browning your rice balls. So as soon as one side is nice and browned, just rotate and continue to cook the rice ball on all sides until you have a nice golden brown crust. Once your rice balls are cooked on all sides, you can remove them and place on a wire rack to help drain the oil. If you don't have a wire rack, you can use some paper towel. Our second batch of rice balls are done, so now let's plate it and taste it. So here you can see it has a nice golden brown crust, and when you break into it, the butter and the cheese has melted into that rice and it's just absolutely lovely. Here I'm serving it with some marinara sauce for dipping, but you could also use something like pesto or just eat it plain with a little grated cheese on top. It's absolutely perfect. Well, there you have it, folks. Araccini. I hope you guys try and enjoy the recipe. And you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. And as always, guys, until next time,